I mean, it says I'm meant to start talking now, but I'd rather just play that for the next 3 minutes, if that's okay. You never need to find an excuse to play The Cure, but this time there's an extra special reason, because we're joined by the band's drummer, Jason Cooper. Evening, Jason. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Thanks for having me on. Thank you.
This is great. What a thrill to talk to somebody like yourself. We will talk about The Cure. We'll talk about music in a moment's time, but you're not here just to talk about your tour that you've got coming up and the release of your new album.
No.
You are doing something very special indeed, and it's all to do with the memory of a very special friend of yours. Tell us a bit more about it.
Yes, I'm riding the London to Brighton bike ride for the British Heart Foundation in memory of my dear departed drum technician who died of a heart attack. And it's in memory of him.
It's worth talking about the relationship that musicians have with roadies and guitar techs and drum techs and things like that, because you are incredibly close to them. They, I guess, share some of the most powerful and intimate moments in terms of your professional career you can have.
Yeah, we shared lots of moments. I mean, he was just a fabulous man to have around, and he was wonderful to have on stage. I could always depend on him. And he's dearly missed, yes. And so that's why I'm riding for the BHF. They hope to raise £2.8 million. There's like 14,000 riders. They spend £100 million a year on research, and it's a very worthy cause.
So tell us a bit about Paul Welton, who's your drum tech, or Ricky. Why?
He called Ricky because he looked like Ricky from EastEnders.
Right. So I bet you weren't at all annoying, and whenever you shouted him, just shouted Ricky in a Cockney accent, just like Bianca.
Yeah, I did.
Of course you did. Of course you did. So, what is the role of a drum tech and someone like Ricky?
He sets up my drums. He's there to help me negotiate being in different countries. He's just a good, dependable person.
Yeah,
that's why I missed him.
Yeah. And as you say, you're writing this in memory of him because he suffered a heart attack, and obviously for the British Heart Foundation. Was it unexpected? Did it come out of nowhere? I mean, it must have been very, very difficult for you in the band.
He became ill in Helsinki. We were playing a concert there, and then he came back to England and very sadly died a week later.
Right.
Yeah.
And tell me about cycling then. A lot of men of a certain age, should I say that, have taken up cycling in recent years.
Mammals, I think.
Mammals, I'm glad you said it. So middle-aged men in Lycra. I mean, dear. I'm not going to ask you to describe what you're wearing right now, because that would be slightly weird. But are you full Lycra, full helmet, full gear?
Yeah, I haven't quite got the top. I haven't got the top bit. Yeah, I've got the shorts, which is very important. I mean, someone in a bike shop said to me, what should I spend my money on? And he said the shorts. Padded shorts is the most important.
Yeah. So this was a conversation that me and the team were having, exactly the same thing before the show today, because I rode my bike for the first time in 2 years the day before yesterday. And I rode it a whole 3 miles downhill into Leeds city centre, and I've been walking like John Wayne ever since.
Johnny, come on.
I mean, it's a pain. You know,
that department, yeah.
Yeah, people say you never forget how to ride a bike, but I forgot about the pain, because I would not have gone back to it, Jason.
You need padded shorts.
Yeah, apparently so.
Jason, can I just add, my husband last week did the Ride London, so 100 miles, okay? Yes. Bless him. When he came home, I sprayed him with champagne. The man could barely walk, but we were really super proud of what he was able to do. But one bit of advice for you, just make sure you've got your nutrition sorted. So all your waters, all your gels and everything else, and just try and enjoy it. But a good bike also helps as well, by the way.
Yeah, my bike's not bad. It's not as good as some of the people I'm sure that will be on the ride, but it works. I've had it serviced, so hopefully it won't let me down.
How's the training been going? Punctures, problems with your bike?
The day sort of thing. Trying to do that.
Yeah.
Something.
And the great thing, obviously, about being a rock star like yourself is having a very high profile and a great fan base as well, and a very, very generous fan base by all accounts as well, particularly one fan in the US.
Very generous. Yes, he's called Jason, and he offered to pay £7,000 for an hour's drum lesson. So I'm very grateful to him, to the British Heart Foundation, not to me, of course, to the British Heart Foundation.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you usually charge?
And yes, that will take place after the bike ride.
Great. And does he have a personal link to the British Heart Foundation, or is he just a massive fan of the band?
I think he's a massive fan. Yes, he got in touch with them and just asked if he could set that up. And I said, of course, for a good cause, yeah.
Yeah. Now, obviously, rock and rollers aren't known for their healthy lifestyle, but I guess as you get a little bit older and wiser, you realise you do need to sleep. As Jeanette says, you do need to eat properly. You do need to start looking after yourself. Just when you're a band, though, that's, for instance, about to start a big tour like you are, how does that work? Can you combine a healthy lifestyle with being a rock star?
Yeah, you can. I mean, I find if I don't do a bit of healthy stuff, I don't cope very well with it. I do yoga and swimming, all those things. They sort of help it along, really. But the concert's quite long, so yeah, it's just good to eat enough beforehand. That's what I do usually. Have a big meal.
How big is big? What kind of calories?
3 course, possibly.
Really? I just want to have a lie down after that.
I know, but a pasta usually helps. Things like that.
Yeah, because you've got to. So you're starting your tour in October, aren't you? And it's a massive tour. You're going all over the place.
It starts on the 6th in Latvia, and we finish in December at Wembley. The 13th.
3 nights at Wembley Arena, which will be a wonderful thing. And I was thinking, because you headlined Glastonbury 2019, didn't you?
Yeah.
Was that was the last Glastonbury before the pandemic then, wasn't it?
Yes, that was our last UK show. It was a wonderful experience to be there. My family were there. It was a truly magical moment.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a show to have before the pandemic, the Glastonbury Pyramid stage, there can't be much bigger in terms of an artist's career.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, we're going actually back there as a family to camp this year. So we're going to look at some bands.
I mean, you're obviously going in some sort of glamping teepee, aren't you?
No, normal tent.
No, come on.
Yeah.
Really?
I like camping, actually.
Really? And you're in with the common people, with the proles?
Well, sort of.
Oh, right, there we go.
There we go.
There we go. Are you staying in Michael Eavis's back garden and allowed to use his toilet? Is that what it is?
Somewhere, well, near there.
Yeah, I thought as much. And tell me about the new album as well, because it's been a lot of work for the band by all accounts.
Yes, it's the name of it is Songs of a Lost World. And Robert is mixing it as we speak.
Right, okay. Can you tell us anything more? I know you've been quite tight-lipped about it. Does it touch on things like the pandemic?
Yes, possibly. Okay. I'm not quite sure, really, to be honest. I mean, musically, it does. It's I think they're more kind of slower songs. I mean, lyrically, I'm not so sure.
Right, interesting. And is Robert Smith a cyclist as well?
He does do some, yes. I think at his home on a stationary bike.
Right, okay. Yeah, because I couldn't see a helmet fitting over Robert's hair. He
doesn't wear a helmet. He devil may care. Yeah.
Yes, it's quite the bouffant that he has there. It's a wonderful thing.
Like mine.
Yeah, and tell me, in terms of obviously a band which you've been going now, I'm guessing it must be 40 years now, is it?
Over 40 years.
Over 40 years.
40th anniversary in 2018.
Right. Okay. So 44 years now. How have you found the evolution of the band? Because there are those who will love the original stuff and the early stuff of The Cure, and we've just played a bit of it then. As artists, you always want to evolve and progress and change, don't you? And I guess there's nothing worse than continually referring back to your old self when you change as a person and as a musician. So have you found that kind of cycle of evolution difficult to keep everybody happy?
Difficult as in the fans? I mean, we just sort of write music to be as good as we can, really. I don't know if we think so much about what has come before or what's going to come after. It's just to produce great music.
Yeah, of course. And tell me then more about this race. If people want to, it's not a race, obviously. It's definitely not a race, the ride itself. If people want to support you in this, how do they do that? Tell us about your Just Giving page.
Go to my Just Giving page, Jason Cooper on the BHF. There's lots of spaces still to apply for the ride. Yes, it's a very worthy cause, so please join if you can.
Yeah, and you will have people around you as well. I guess the community aspect of a big event like this is a really important celebratory point of it.
Yes, absolutely. And I've got a team with me, two friends of mine, Ricard, Nikos. They're keen cyclists, so they'll set a good pace.
Right.
But I think there's all kinds of abilities that are entering. So I think whatever your ability, you're welcome to join the race.
Now, Jason, are you competitive? Are you
Highly.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Because sometimes you go into these races with your friends and you're like, right, we're going to work as a pack. And maybe in the last mile or so, you just see someone go rogue and they're off. Is that going to be you? That's what I'm asking.
I don't know if I'll go rogue. I go quite slow up the hills, but like my teammates set a really good pace. So, and sometimes if I get in their slipstream, that's like 30% of my energy is saved by being in their slipstream. So I think I'll stick with that.
That's fantastic.
Jeanette, you as an Olympic sprinter,
Oh gosh.
I mean, you were all about the explosive pace. So I'm just thinking, can you give Jason any tips here?
Yeah, the only tips
for the big finish.
Honestly, Jason, the only tips that you need from me for the finish is just put your head down and just absolutely go for it. Whatever you've got left, take it to the finish line. But when it comes down to endurance events, I am the last person that you should be asking for any advice from. My husband tries to get me involved on the bike, and a spin bike is as far as I will go, which doesn't move, and I can listen to music and I feel good. But the great outdoors on a bike, I'm afraid that's where I kind of fall down a little bit. That's not really my
Jeanette doesn't like to work for more than 11 and a half seconds.
So a bike ride to Brighton wouldn't be great.
The worst part of the race is getting to the end. I think Ditchling Beacon is a difficult thing at the end. It's a big hill.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm sort of...
Hey, what? By the way, speaking of music, do you listen when you ride? I know there are kind of safety issues, but when you're trained or when you're doing any other sort of training, do you listen to music?
No, I don't actually.
Yeah.
I don't. I like to sort of be able to hear cars coming behind me.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, of course. But you don't do any other supplementary training with it either?
I do. Yes, I do a bit of rowing, actually, to be honest.
Okay, right.
And anything else I can do, really.
Yeah, sure. And I just wonder what it's like for the rest of your band then. So you said that Robert Smith, the lead singer, does like to get on a static bike. Are you the annoying one that's evangelising being healthy, getting out in your exercise, turning up in your Lycra and all that kind of stuff?
Everyone else is very healthy in the band. Simon is a particularly good cyclist.
Right.
And yes, he does lots of cycling.
Yeah.
But he's done this race a few times before, so he's doing his other charity events. But yes, everyone else is reasonably healthy.
Yeah, well, I guess you have to, because you have a reputation for doing very long gigs, don't you?
We do.
You know, kind of Springsteen-esque 3-hour-long gigs. Is that a thing that will change at all, or will your newfound cycling fitness help you in maybe going for the 4-hour one?
I hope so. I mean, I think that we will do some long ones, but I don't think we did one once for 4 hours 13. I don't think we'll repeat that one.
Really? I mean, that must have been your entire back catalogue.
4 hours and 13.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
On Robert's birthday, actually, in 2013. Yeah.
You're drumming for that amount of time, Jace. That is fit.
Yes, so hopefully the bike ride should be a sin.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be demanding some a cappella numbers in that if you're
drumming.
a 4-hour one. Absolutely not.
Some of the rhythms are easier than others. But, yeah.
Right, okay.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, a 4-hour paradiddle is just too much. Listen, Jason, it's been a thrill to talk to you. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for sharing that with us. When's the album out, by the way?
It's out in October.
Right, it's out in October, and then the tour begins in, where did we say? Riga? It's Riga, isn't it? Yeah, Riga in Latvia, 6th of October. Yeah. And then all around Scandinavia, rest of Europe, and then back into the UK for I think it's the Dublin gig. There we go. Or in Ireland, sorry. Dublin on the 1st of December, Belfast on the 2nd, Glasgow on the 4th, and then into the rest of England from the 6th as well. Wonderful stuff. Take care. Thank you very much, Jason. Enjoy the cycle ride and enjoy the gigs.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Jeanette, that's it from us.